Ready.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners meeting. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first thing on our agenda are minutes. Gentlemen, do we have any additions or corrections?
Let me drag them out here. There are some amendments that need to be made, especially on a motion for a public hearing is on a different application. And Kim, do you want to correct that now or just?
I'll have to go back and listen to
Okay.
the recording to
All
get
right.
the motion correctly. Right now, it's a motion on Totten Land LLC instead of the Road 42.
Okay.
So I will correct it. And
I move we accept the minutes of the session of the Board of County Commissioners for September 26 as amended.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County, September 26, 2023, with the amendments. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next up we have planning. And right off the get-go, we have a public hearing. Do we have the applicants here, Don? Do we have the applicants for your first public hearing?
Yes. Ronnie, come on up.
Okay. With that, Kim, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
And Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission, Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing and determining recommendations to be made. This is the wrong public notice. So, anyways, I will read it off of the. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination regarding a proposed single-lot development and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by Ronnie and Rachel Hurst on property located at 29998 Highway 184, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 15 acres more or less, located south of Highway 184, west of Road 30, situated in Section 21, Township 37 North, Range 15 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Thursday, September 14th, 2023, starting at, sorry, this is the wrong one. Anyways, there you go. This is the wrong public notice.
Okay. Don, will you give us an overview, please?
Do you need the actual publication notice date stated?
You know, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea just to get the right one.
So the only thing that, the only other thing this says is that it was published in the Cortez Journal on Wednesday, August 30th, 2023.
Okay, that'll do.
Did that work?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
that is accurate. Okay, so the Hearsts are proposing to create a single lot development. They're on the east side of their property. It's actually just over 15 acres, not 15 acres. That's coming out of a 94 acre parcel. Access will be from the south there on Road S.2. That's a 75-foot access easement, and then it narrows down to a 60-foot line. You can see there's two major easements for utilities. One's for Tri-State across the north, and then through the middle of that is the pipelines.
Okay. Mr. Hurst, would you like to add anything? Okay. All right, commissioners, questions?
There's a
Either
lot
one
of
of them?
easements through that property in there.
So the black line obviously is the existing easement. You said it was 75 feet until it gets up to the yellow hashed mark?
Road, and then about west parcel there before his property, it narrows down to,
Okay.
but then that road continues on and serves, I don't know, 4 or 5 other residences there. But I'm not sure what condition that road is past this property.
Okay.
They take care of it. It's their own, homeowners take care of their road.
All right. Well then, if we have no questions here, I'll go ahead and open this up for public comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I will open this application up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board at this time. Okay, seeing no public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this application and bring it back to the commissioners.
I have no further questions. Pretty good.
Planning and zoning recommendation?
They were unanimous to recommend it for approval.
Okay. Commissioner?
I don't have any problem with it. So I don't see any problems with it.
Okay.
I would so move, we accept the proposed single lot development and AR 10 through 34 rezoning applications submitted by Ronnie and Rachel Hurst on property located at 29998 Highway 184, Dolores.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept a proposed single lot development and AR 10 through 34 rezoning applications submitted by Ronnie and Rachel Hurst on property located at 29998 Highway 184, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 15 acres more or less. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, sir, you are approved, and I will close this public hearing.
Thanks.
All right, we've got a minute to wait. But do you have your applicants for the next public hearing?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Come on up. This is Mr. Heyder, the property owner. Yeah, sorry. Mr. Shaw, the agent for the Heyder property.
Okay, anything else you want to go over, Don, before, I've still got to wait till my little computer says 9:10 on it.
Right. Nothing in particular, just more of the same.
Your flyer insert looks good.
Yeah, we'll review that. There we had 2 or 3 renditions of it, but I don't know if you want to go through it now or.
We've got a little bit of time if you want to go through it real
Okay,
quick.
so we've been in discussion, I don't know, for several months about ways and how to notify the public that the county does have a land use code. You do have to be permitted for certain uses of your property. And planning and zoning came up with this information. It would be a flyer insert that would go in with the property tax bills. So it would be mailed out along with the tax notices in the spring. It's not too elaborate because it's just a little 1-sheet flyer that gets put in the envelope. Main thing is just to notify people that if they're doing any type of development, that they need to contact our office. The latest addition was reference to camping, because there's a lot of new people have moved in and think they can just rent out campsites here and there and set up RV pads, and this way we'll at least let them know that it's got to be permitted. The QR codes, Jessica worked with Mike Lynch. Mike came up with the flyer, and those QR codes will link to the land use code. So if we can get your approval on this, we'll get it to the assessor's office. They have to send it to their printer people to get a cost estimate on it.
Okay. Question?
No,
I don't have any, I think it's a good thing.
I do too.
I think it's a good start. I mean, if we at least try capturing or reaching out to more people, it's trying to
Mhm.
educate them prior to dealing with all the issues we have to deal with on the backside of it. So I think if that's just direction that you need, I think,
Yeah,
from what I'm hearing, the direction is to go ahead and get the cost for the printing of it, and then we'll see what we can do from there.
Okay, very good. Appreciate that.
Okay. All right, it is 9:10, so with that, Kim, we have another public hearing. Would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsey.
here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
And Kemp Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination regarding a proposed two-lot moderate subdivision and AR 3-9 rezoning application submitted by Robert and Katherine Heyder, Living Trust, Agent Benjamin Bradford Shaw, on property located at 12064 Road 40, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 12.85 acres, more or less, located east of Road 40, north of Highway 184, situated in Section 8, Township 36 North, Range 13 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023, at 9 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com, public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 18th day of September 2023, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, September 20th, 2023.
All right, thank you, Kim. Okay, Don, you give us the overview on this one.
All right, the Heyder Trust is proposing to do a two-lot moderate subdivision. Mr. Shaw here is their son-in-law, and he is the agent. Both residences there are existing, so they're looking at splitting the house and the garage on the north to go with the 3 acres. The house with the red roof on the south would stay with the remaining 9 or so acres. There is a existing driveway, utilities are all in place. That is a shared driveway on the straight stretch there prior to that corner, that curve. No other utilities, no other anything is required. Both are existing residences. They're just splitting them.
So, I'm going to ask
All the
same-
setback, oh,
Go ahead.
all the setbacks are met?
Correct. The surveyor was out to determine, to make sure that there is 60 feet between the 2 corners of the buildings. That's why that's an angled line there, so that they can meet that 30-foot setback at the garage, the house, and then that little building to the east of the garage.
And all the utilities are separated so that each be on the individualized lots along with the driveway, because as usual, a shared driveway tends to be as they come up later for us, or just their issues. So I guess that's my question. Are all the utilities separated per each lot, so they're individualized?
Everything's separated except the water, and we have a request in with the Mancos rural water to separate those. They said it'd probably be next summer before they could get to that.
So they would have an individualized tap. And I guess where I'm headed is because at some point in time, once they're separated, they'll get sold.
Right.
And if they're not individualized, it then creates a problem down the road.
Right, they will be individualized as soon as
Okay.
Mancos rural water.
And then the driveway also? Shared driveways are also not a good thing either, because if that gets sold and somebody else doesn't want that being crossed, shared driveways are not, it's something that we end up having to deal with. So it's easier when we do a subdivision like this to make sure that everything is individualized.
Yeah, the separate driveways are not really practical at that location.
Okay, so why not?
It becomes a steep hill to the south of the existing driveway. So where it would go into the house with the red roof, that would have to be substantially excavated in order for there to be a driveway at that point.
So our road and bridge department is here. Have you had a chance to look at this at all, Rob? Maybe, maybe not. Does this look any remotely resemblance, familiarity to you at all, or? All right, those are my concerns. Commissioners?
Planning and zoning recommendation.
They were unanimous to recommend it for approval, no conditions.
So I think the driveway issue is interesting, because ultimately, if there is an access there and there's a deeded easement that's shared between the two owners, that could constitute adequate access, and then if there's an issue there, it becomes a civil issue between the two landowners. Now, the shared utilities, I think in our land use code, I think that conceivably is a bigger issue, because you need to be sure that there's adequate infrastructure to support both of the properties. And so, I don't know where, it sounds like Mancos Rural Water has made some indication that there may be water available, but that's probably the bigger issue. I mean, the driveway issue, certainly, Commissioner, I understand where you're coming from in saying that it's great to have two accesses. But as far as the county's concerned, I mean, access conceivably is adequate, and then it's just a civil issue between those two landowners if things go awry.
So is that a deeded access then, Don? Would that be deeded to the?
It will be, yeah, from the north parcel to the south parcel.
So then is your statement that it should actually, I'm not saying that it has to be, the water has to be separated now, it's just that it's.
What we need to figure out is if there's adequate water to support the use, and then as to the access, where the access is adequate. That's what the land use code requires.
So the water,
Water is available, they just don't have the,
they're just not separate right now at this point in time. They're both serviced,
correct,
correct?
correct.
They're just not
Yeah.
separated.
Correct.
So they'll just put them on a different meter and
Right, they had a separate tap.
separate them that way and.
Right.
And that's really the critical
They're saying
analysis
that it
for the land
is.
use code. If
It
there's
is.
water available,
Mhm.
then that's what we have to look at, not exactly how it goes there, whether it's on one line or two. I mean, obviously, two lines is always a good idea, because like you said, if properties change hands and you've got an issue, same with the access. I mean, in an ideal world, you have two accesses, but it's not an issue in our land use code to have one access.
Correct, I understand that. My question was, is there an issue with creating the access? Because it's just cleaner. You're separating your properties, the accesses, it's a cleaner to have access to that property without having to get through another property.
Right. I understand the issue. I really don't think it would be practical to create a driveway to the southern residents. Given the steepness of the hill, there's a small garage that has the white roof on it, and that's actually at a lower level. It's at a basement level of the house with the red roof.
Okay, well, with no other questions at this point in time, I'll go ahead and open this up for public comment, and then I'll bring it back to us. So, anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board at this time. Okay, seeing no public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this application and bring it back to the commissioners for other comments.
I have no further comments.
I don't have any problem, as long as that's a deeded access across that other property, I don't see where that's gonna be a problem. You know, I know where this property is and stuff, and I know what he's talking about as far as the way that house is built there and stuff, so it's, I don't have any problem with it. I don't see any problem with it. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
I move to approve this proposed two-lot moderate subdivision in AR 3-9 rezoning application submitted by Robert and Katherine Heyder Living Trust at 12064 Road 40, Mancos, Colorado.
Second. Sorry, Gerald, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's
do you
good.
need to add anything?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed two-lot moderate subdivision in AR 339 rezoning application submitted by Robert and Katherine Heyder Living Trust agent Benjamin Bradford Shaw, on property located at 12064 Road 40, Mancos, Colorado. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I will close this public comment or I will close the public hearing. You are approved, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's all our business for today, unless you've got issues.
Now, I think try to move forward with the flyer, see what it does, and see if it
Okay.
helps us.
We'll take that.
Not sure how we quantify that, but is there a way to ask as we get calls, how they found out about it? I mean,
We could ask them.
it'd be nice just to ask to see, even if we get a small percentage, it's better than nothing.
Right.
And at least we're trying to reach out to notify people.
And the word is actually getting out. Seems like in the last 3 months, we've had phone calls where a neighbor has informed them that they need to contact the planning office, that they can't just start doing whatever they want to start doing. So I think more of the locals are, if not just now becoming aware of it, at least they're sharing with new people moving in that they need to follow some rules and find out what the regulations are and permitting and whatnot. So I think this will greatly improve that. At least they know that they need to contact us. We may get buried with phone calls, but most of it's just shop sheds,
Yeah.
simple stuff. But we'll see.
Okay? Sounds good. See
Can't
what
hurt.
it does. Yeah.
But we'll find out cost-wise what we're looking at there with the printers. I don't
Very
think
good.
the mailing the postage won't be
It'll
changed
just
at
be
all, because
with-
it's just a piece of paper, but
Yeah.
we'll find out what the printing cost is.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have our public comment session. Board of County Commissioners welcomes you to this meeting. Person speaking during the public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all the members of the public the opportunity to address the board. When addressing the board, please state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments. Comments to individual supervisors or staff are not permitted, and participants may not yield their time to others. And with that, the public comment session is open. You can,
Either
you
way.
can stand there, you can sit.
Well, I'm not a public speaker, so bear with me. My name is Ruth Stockwell, and presently we have the janitorial service contract for the administration building. Yesterday, we had a walkthrough for each building before the bids are due on the 5th. We found out that the new contract was for 2 days a week instead of 5. I have some concerns about the change and the impact it has on the buildings. We have worked extremely hard to make our buildings a clean place to work and where the public can come into the building knowing the effort has been made to keep them clean. We reviewed the requirements from 2023 to 24 with the expectation that the same workload is completed in 2 days instead of 5. And these are some of my concerns. Here at the administration building, we have 17 bathrooms. And on any given day, we are replacing either toilet paper or paper towels in some of the bathrooms. When we're only doing 2 days a week, who's going to come in and replace them? We have one bathroom, an individual does not flush the urinal, and the odor is very strong and offensive, and we end up bleaching and working with that every day. Child protection has visitation, and some of the parents are changing soiled diapers and throwing them in the trash. I have a concern about them sitting there for 3 days. We are mopping and sanitizing the bathrooms every day, which decreases the viruses and the bacteria production. Employees eat at their desk and put uneaten food in the trash cans. There are potlucks and celebrations where large amounts of trash and food are dumped. I am concerned about the mice and odor problem that will arise from the leftover food. We have an individual who eats popcorn daily, and it's all over the floor. We have to sweep it up and mop every day there. We already have a mice problem, and so I'm concerned about that becoming worse. With winter coming and the snow, mud, and water, it is an increase of falls, damage to the floors and the carpets, and the overall decrease in cleanliness. We sweep and mop the composites floors and vacuum the carpets daily. I thank you for your time and letting me voice my concerns. I understand that you're concerned about the budget and trying to cut costs, but I do not feel like the janitorial service is where it should be cut. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next. Okay, seeing no other public comment, I will close the public comment session of this meeting, and I will go to department reports. First off is Road and Bridge, Mr. Engelhardt.
Real quick, Commissioner, can we, because Jake needs to get out of here, can we jump to unfinished business just for the health insurance?
Sure. Sorry, I didn't realize that. So, yeah, we can do that. Mr. Zender, would you come on down? We'll go to unfinished business. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So I'll just give a brief overview kind of our meeting yesterday. We had a workshop yesterday We went over our health benefits. Jake Zender is our representative that goes out and gets our costs and bring them back to the county through the benefits committee. Basically, in a nutshell, our insurance is going up 8.3%, which it was much higher than that. Jake's worked hard to get it down to that point in time, and with that, I'm gonna give it to you, Jake.
So obviously, yesterday, we kind of went through a multitude of things. So with our costs and claims being 140% of what's called our attachment point, and roughly 800,000 to $1 million in large claims, our initial renewal came out at 26.9%. So through the bid process and negotiations, Cigna did come back with the best offering at 8.3%. We received bids from 22 other offerings that were much higher. So we did do a full comprehensive bid, as we do every single year. So there was a strong market presence of analyzing what's out there. And again, at the end of the day, 8.3% was by far above and beyond anybody else.
Okay. Question?
No, we hashed this out pretty good.
Yeah.
We did.
I think we have all of our questions answered, and we pretty much have a decision that we need to make today. So, gentlemen, what's your pleasure?
Okay. I would so move, we accept the bid from Cigna for our health insurance for Montezuma County.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposal from Cigna Health Insurance to remain with them for the 2024 upcoming year. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate
you.
it. Yep. Okay, now I'll go back to department reports. Mr. Engelhardt. Thank you. Morning.
Okay, first up is our October activities targets. Right now, we're blading roads and working on drainages this fall, getting ready for the winter run, and get those ready for snow plowing. All the districts are working at different points of the month here, so it's pretty much a full month's worth of activities there. We're currently hauling and spreading gravel up on Road W, V6, and then get them wrapped up. We'll probably lined up for Road G, east of Road 25 out towards the end there, so that's ready and pulled and ready for gravel. So it'll be a full month of hauling as long as the weather holds up. Towards the end of the month, we're hoping to be able to work on the Spruce Creek multi-plate project we talked about yesterday a little bit. We can discuss more in a few minutes here, but that would be part of the work. And also crack sealing, the temperatures come down to where we can do that without tracking that oil all over the cars and things, and we'll start that project. And so Road 25 and S and the airport road will be our first targets for next year's chip sealing, so that'll be the ones we go after on crack seal. So that's what we're doing in October. Any questions? Okay.
No.
Do not.
Yesterday, I was in here on the workshop, and we did discuss the Spruce Creek culvert, so if you don't mind, I'd like to go ahead and bring that to the table while I'm here. Again, as a reminder, what we're doing is replacing a 6-foot single culvert with a multi-plate bridge system that will give us about 4 times the capacity of water. That creek is a dry creek and year-round except for the spring, and then it's a very live creek. So last year, we lost the road and couldn't rebuild it until the spring runoff is over, and this year we want to try to eliminate that issue with this new idea. As I mentioned yesterday, the culvert was purchased several years ago, so we're utilizing it, and then we're going to do a concrete footing foundation to attach it to. If all goes well, we'll start towards the middle of October and have it ready by November, late November, and be ready for spring runoff. So,
Any questions?
I don't have any.
Like, this is another one we hashed over pretty well yesterday, so,
You comfortable with the bids?
yes.
Both bidders?
I think if we do an approval, we could do the approval at up to 75,000, or do you want the actual, how do you want to go about it?
Let's build in. I agree with you. I think we need to go to 75,000 and keep it as low as we can, Rob.
Well, I think
sorry.
it's more the availability, like you
Yeah,
said.
I think it
more
is.
like
It's
first come,
who
first
can
served,
go
yeah.
first?
Yeah.
So,
Who can you get first?
If you guys don't mind, I would rather take it, I can't see the numbers, but what's
74,1, 74,598.
75, you know, just
That's
up, like you
Okay.
said. yeah.
right. And then
'Cause
that
there
way
could
you
be
can
There
get,
could be some extra bolts or something we need to throw in there, some rebar or whatever,
Right.
so.
I don't have any problems with it. I move to approve the construction of the Spruce Creek multi-plate culvert and up to $75,000 for the concrete quote for that project.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to move forward with the Spruce Creek multi-plate culvert in the amount of not to exceed $75,000. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that takes care of item number 2 under unfinished business also, so,
Okay,
thank you,
thanks.
Rob.
Then, I do kinda wanna go have an update on the bridge. I've got a couple pictures there, I think, Travis, if I recall. Most of these are on our webpage anyway, but, there. So, last time I talked to you was a month ago, so the bridge has come a long ways in 30 days, and they've got their abutments backfilled and full. This week, they poured the curbs so they can get the guardrails attached, and are working towards the sleeper slabs on each end and the approach slabs. And that will then let them pave, and are currently on schedule to be done with this thing by late October, early November, so right on schedule. Our billings and our reimbursements are still moving smoothly. We haven't had any hiccups with CDOT, so it's been very good to come and go like it's doing, and so keeps us in money. So, good contractor, good job, good bridge. So I think by middle of November, this thing will be open to the public and ready to go, so. Crushing, we did complete up there with Forest Service, so we've moved out of the Beaver Rim pit. We've moved on over to Ormiston now, so they're setting up in Ormiston to make some material for the landfill and some more road base for the road department and a little bit for the Forest Service. So we should get that done before winter sets in too deep and get out of there and head from Ocampo then for the late winter. So it's kind of the plan for them guys. And that's about it.
Okay. Questions?
No. Thank you.
That's good.
Okay,
Okay, thanks.
there you go, sir. Thank you.
Mhm.
We have no report from Noxious Weed today. We'll go straight to the landfill. Mr. Jarman.
Thanks, Mel.
Okay, those sheets that I handed you are the prices we talked about. Take effect first of the year, we'll have to change the website and our brochure to post those.
Okay. Do you have this? Can you display this? You don't have it?
Elmo don't work anymore.
Okay.
I can scan it.
It's on relief.
Yeah, I'll wait for a second. I'd rather get it displayed on the screen, basically to let the public know what we're talking about as far as the increase to the landfill as far as costs, what we're gonna add for pricing for the upholstered chairs, furniture, couches, love seats, et cetera. So, yeah, we'll wait a minute.
With that, we talked about the PCS oils on some of this. We just have it under miscellaneous oils on that sheet. Some of these soils that we get, we had talked about letting some of it go to contract environmental services. But there's a lot of soils that we get that they can't accept because they're in Utah. If they're high in salt, they can't accept it. And that's when we get some of that stuff in, and we need to keep continuing to take care of our community. So we didn't really change anything on that other than raise the price, which will be on that sheet.
Okay.
As far as the Carver field, was hoping to have it done, but due to equipment breakdowns and everything else, we're at a stalemate right now. Should have the parts in hopefully today and be back up and running. Hopefully have it finished the end of next week or the week after. We're first lift into the pond. All the clay's been put down. We'll have to have it surveyed. As soon as the clay's in the pond, send back online to put the liner in. Once that's surveyed and done, we'll put the bundle in and be done.
So we're still waiting on parts
Waiting on parts.
for the machines?
They're supposed to be in today. We hope to have the D8 back up and running this week. We've got a lot of work to get done before we put it back out in the Carver field because it's been down for over a week in our construction pit. And of course, our new BOMAG's been down for quite a while. And they're supposed to be up today, hopefully. I didn't receive a phone call before I left, but they were waiting on a part from Salt Lake to see if they could reprogram that ACM and then be up and reinstall it. So hopefully today or tomorrow that machine will be back up too. As far as the budget, we didn't have a whole lot of expense. You can tell that it's been crazy busy down there. Trying to save up for next year's expense with cell 5 builds, so.
All right, there you go, Mel. You can,
How we doing
Go
on
ahead
out-of-town
over there.
trash while you're
It's crazy.
out-of-county trash? I'm talking.
There's so many people moving in here that haven't changed their license plates, so it's hard to tell. We still get quite a few people, contractors from Durango, coming over. We get a lot of people from New Mexico plates coming in, Arizona plates coming in. And like I said, there's a lot of people moving in, so we see a lot of Texas plates coming in. But a lot of it, I think, is people buying properties and cleaning them up and bringing it to us. But it's been really busy down there. It's just nonstop all day long, except when we close for wind, which we've had plenty of that last few days.
Yeah.
So,
Mel and I had talked about the possibility of charging out-of-county trash more, and I think that, Mel, one of the issues that you had was it would be really difficult to verify what was coming from in-county and out-of-county, right?
true. I talked to a different county on that, and they're centralized up in central Colorado, and they require somebody to show up with an address, or if they're an out-of-county contractor working in the county, they have to bring the building permit with them every time. And that was a small community that does that, and they charge quite a bit for it, but as busy as we are, I don't know if that would be feasible for us to do. I think raising these prices will help cover the extra cost of the fuel and stuff like that we've experienced, and cover the cost of cell 5 build, which we're still a fair amount cheaper than Bondat or Archuleta or any of the other landfills around, but White Mesa's still quite a bit cheaper than we are. So that's a pretty good drive if they want to drive that far.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are basically the proposed rates. We had talked about this, what, a month ago?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so this is what we've come up with now. So as of the first of the year, this is approved. If approved today, then these will what they'll go up to January 1, 2024.
Correct, and we'll have to change obviously our brochure and websites.
Okay, questions, gentlemen?
No.
I don't.
Okay. All right, so I guess we can approve these today and get them
Yeah.
posted so that everybody is aware, and starting 2024, there'll be increased costs at the landfill.
I would so move we approve the proposed rate increases at our landfill.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed 2024 rate increases for the landfill as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Anything else, Mel?
That's all I've got for today.
I hope we get our machines working.
Me too.
All right, keep us posted on that.
I will.
All right.
Thanks, Mel.
All right, thank you guys.
Fairgrounds. Yep. Justin in the back.
Okay. So September, we had commodity giveaway like we always do every month. A few other little things like food preservation class, barrel race we had in September. Actually, we had 2 of those. They did reseed clinic out there, and for Pet Sake Yard Sale came in and did their annual huge yard sale that they do out in our beef barn. And then that followed up by the Jordan World Circus that we had out there. So that was the events that we kind of had going in September. October, November, we just got a couple things scheduled at the moment, such as the couple commodity giveaways. We got another barrel race coming up in October. And in November, we got Forest States Junior Rodeo coming up. We'll probably end up getting a couple other little things here and there, but nothing quite yet. Practices are another thing that we're going to be looking at coming up here in November going on. That's 4-H, high school rodeo, roping practices and youth roping practices going on out there. So we do got that coming up as well. Other than that, we've been doing a lot of cleaning lately, maintenance stuff. We're also finishing up on our outdoor restroom remodel. We're going to try to get our floor done this week. We were looking at doing an epoxy for the floor though, and I got some concerns about doing it, especially with our showers. So I do have someone coming to look at it for me today, and we might just do like a grind and seal on it, where we grind the concrete and seal it. And in that way we keep it the way it is, non-slip, easy maintenance, and we don't ever have to worry about sitting water or anything sitting on that and peeling up later on. So
Just a clear sealer
it's kind of what we're thinking.
or a stain?
Yep, it's kind of what we're thinking. And I got a guy coming to look at it, so I'm thinking that might be our easiest, most affordable way to just do it and be done with it. So instead of trying to do epoxy coatings or anything like that. They do have the epoxy paints, but those just aren't going to last. Epoxy coatings, I got mixed stuff unless you buy real quality stuff, which is pretty expensive. Seems like it's hit and miss. So grind and seal is going to probably be about the same cost. We might just do that.
Is that just a, what's the durability of that sealer? Is that annually or?
The sealer, I believe
Yeah.
it's a one and done. And that's what I'm going to kind of go over with a guy today, a contractor coming to look at it. See if we can just kind of put a sealer or a stain or something in it and it just be done. And then whether or not we have to maintain on that. That's kind of our, polish would be another thing, but I don't think polishing is the way to go.
No, I don't
I
think we
think
need
more
to
of a
polish
sealer
it,
would be the
yeah.
best way to go. So, and that was kind of what I was talking to them about. So we're going to kind of go over that today and see if that's the route we want to go. So, and I think that is going to probably be in our best interest.
Okay.
And then we're not worrying about maintenance on that floor later on. So, other than that, we pretty much got everything else done in those restrooms. We got a couple little things to touch up as far as paint, but that's where we're at with those. Some of the things we do got planned for this winter as far as maintenance goes, we need to get out there and do some cleaning and painting around some of our building rails that I'd like to do. These are some stuff that, would like to get done these next couple months before it starts to get crazy winter. We also need to get into our outdoor arena stock pens and build some rails. This last year, we kind of redesigned a little bit of that, kind of for safety issues, back where our bullpens are and stuff, because nothing was 6 foot tall. We had a couple little accidents in the past. We're trying to prevent that, so we need to get in there and do a little bit more building to make those a little bit more safe and secure back there where those bullpens are. Then paint and all that stuff. Another thing that we do need to do this year is hit our indoor bleachers again. We got a bad culvert out there that we need to get replaced. And then we're doing other things like we'll be trimming trees, doing our equipment maintenance, hauling manure, because this is the time of year we don't got a whole lot, so we can get our manure hauled to the landfill, and then winterizing stuff. So that's kind of what we're looking at doing these next couple months. Obviously it's going to take us more than 2 months to do all that, but as long as the weather permits, that's what we'll be doing. And then we'll just kind of see what we can do once winter hits, and see how bad it is. But that's it for that. The only other thing I got is to go over the gravel quotes, if you guys want to go over those again, or technically bids.
Sure.
I was just able to get them back yesterday, my last one, so I was able to get them over to Travis. So if you guys want to take a look at them, we can kind of review those again
Do you have them, Travis?
and see if you want to move on. Did you?
It's not in the file, but
Yeah.
you sent it via email.
Yeah, I sent you
right?
that email yesterday, I think. Let's see, it was last Monday. We went over this in our workshop a little bit. They were just kind of estimates. I went back and got actual hard bids for these, like you guys suggested. The costs are basically the same. They came back at me with the same thing. So nothing really changed as far as numbers. They cut it down, the cost per ton. I think the 3 bids are follows after that page right there. I just kind of put that as a summary. That's their numbers. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
one's
that's
way
big to
cheaper
see.
than the other two, so.
You okay?
Yeah.
I am. Go ahead.
I mean, that's really,
Yeah.
it's a bit of cost per ton. That way we're not paying for the additional hours that we're, and if that's what they feel like they need to be at, then this is
Yep.
there's a significant difference in the cost
And
from
that's
15 to 23.
Saving $7,000 to $8,000.
Pretty much
So-
what they told me. That's where they felt comfortable, so, you know. So it's not gonna be more
Is there any
competitive.
problem approving this since it wasn't on the agenda, or?
Previously.
It was on the agenda and it's under his land or his fairgrounds report. We've discussed it. I don't know if
I
that,
think we discussed it last week and gave Justin the direction, and he was on the agenda for his report today, so I'm comfortable moving forward.
No, that's fine. I move we approve the K Rock and S Trucking LLC to haul the gravel, 1,071 tons to the fairgrounds from, I guess it's down by the Four Corners, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is donated gravel that was donated to the fairgrounds. We just got to pay the expense of hauling it to the fairgrounds. And that's an amount of $15,187.50.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to accept K Rock and S Trucking LLC, to haul the 1,071 tons of gravel donated by Wiminich Construction from the Four Corners pit to the fairgrounds in the amount not to exceed $15,187.50. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen. And I'll get with them and we'll get on that as soon as we can. And that's something else that we'll be working on these next couple weeks, so. Other than that, that's all I have, so unless you guys got questions for me.
Did we get anything back from Cooper yet?
He did call me back. He kind of gave me some outlines as far as they're working their stuff up with their engineers. He was supposed to get back with me yesterday. He was not able to, and I wasn't able to reach him. So I'm trying to get communication back with him because he was supposed to have something by this week. But as soon as he does, and then I'll try to get a workshop set up with you guys, Cooper, us, and then we can go over our options with that. So, but the plans are on his engineer's table, and they are going through them.
So they do have all their flow tests completed, and
Yep,
that's
they have
what-
all their information they need at hand. So
Okay,
they're just working it all up for us, and they'll probably give us a couple different possibilities. So,
sounds good.
okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right. I
Smack
don't
that
see-
bug. I don't know where it came from. Get it.
Emily in here, so we'll go to Mr.
Disaster.
Spratling Disaster.
They have to face the camera. Good morning, Commissioners.
Yeah, please
Good
don't.
morning.
Morning, Miss Kim. Ian, Mr. Anderson. All right, well, my report is, I sent you the report. I'm sure you had a wonderful time reading it. It's also on the website under my page. Anybody needs to look, all the monthly reports are there.
Lots of good green.
Yeah, we're all green, everything's fine, no disasters, not
Oh,
even.
there's one disaster still there.
Yeah. So, fire situation, we had the snag fire, it was just under an acre. Got that out. Forest Service. We have the Hope Fire, lightning strike up there. And come on down with that. There should be a photo of what it looked like Friday. And now that bottom area is filled in. So we pretty much burned that area out. The rest of it still is going to continue. We're trying to get the 3,000 prescribed acres burned up there. Pretty nasty area, so kind of thrilled about that mitigation. So
You gonna be able to get it done with all this moisture?
I think the Forest Service has got it. Yeah.
Lots of smoke.
Yeah. The winds this weekend, they cut back on it, of course, because
Yeah.
the winds were crazy. And we didn't really want any more spot fires, so it worked out really well. It burned really well on the south part of that. So we got a little more to go. We'll see what happens. And then, of course, we had Pleasant View had a small fire they worked on this weekend. Got it out. Couldn't fly with water because it was, like, really windy, which is worse for a fire when you can't fly and it's blowing pretty hard, but they got it out. They did a good job. And yesterday, Phil's World got a lightning strike. We got a fire going there and put it out. So our indices, I think that was Fridays, and now it's all green. We're super low and everything. So we're on our downswing for fuels and moisture and our H factors. So we're doing really well there. Just some updates throughout this. So we're sending it out on social media, et cetera, trying to let everybody know that this national alert is a presidential national alert by FEMA, October 4th. It'll occur at 12:20.
Ice cream for everybody?
Sure. And this alert's going across all wireless devices, phone devices, cable TV, little message things. And they say the purpose is to ensure that all systems continue to be effective. They want to make sure they're able to send it out, all the cell towers. They're going to broadcast this for 30 minutes across the United States, so they have different areas they're going to hit each time. Looking at all the websites, and it's just one message that people are going to receive. It will say this is a test, National Wireless Emergency Alert System. One of them said it'll be a presidential national wireless. So you'll get something on your phones if you leave them on. No actions required. They're actually going to have a unique tone and a vibration going on so they can reach anybody with disabilities. So this is occurring. I just want to make sure that you and the public are aware. We, Montezuma County, have no control over this. This is a national alert system using a similar system that we might use for critical infrastructure evacuation. I'm not doing it. We're not doing it. It has nothing to do with us, so please don't call dispatch to complain. It has nothing to do with us. Call the White House. That's about where I'm going with that. So,
202.
yeah. Don't call dispatch. We don't need 1,000 phone calls. So that's kind of where we're at.
Isn't there a backup day in case this fails?
Yes, the backup, if it fails or there is a real emergency on the 4th of October, they're planning on moving this to October 11th. So if the phones don't go off then, they'll send it out and it'll be October 11th. So this is testing various infrastructure, cell phone towers this time. So. Speaking of infrastructure, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, called CISA, the feds, they came in and they don't just do, we're up to par on cybersecurity. We're like top in the country, in Colorado. We've had them come in, try to attack our system. They've done a lot of things. It's been really good. So this guy came in, he's from the feds, and they came in to do an infrastructure study just to see, out of all the capabilities that we have for security and protection on our county buildings, he came in and did a review with me, Dustin, and all of our department heads met us at each location. And we went over everything from policy, procedure, plans, training, and then the infrastructure itself. And we've received 5 reports back. Most of all that they're seeing is we have to post something that says, if you see something, say something, just simple stuff. So most of our gaps are easy fix and they're cost-free. The larger gaps might cost some money, but I have my ways. I have grants, so we can look at the grants to try to bring in anything. But before we do that, we're going to walk around and talk with the department heads and see if it's something Montezuma County wants to do or if it's not. And if it's something we think is vital, then we'll plan it, get with the board, get the approval for any kind of infrastructure change or something, and then we'll look at grants. So, but we did receive the 5 reports, not 4. I had 4 in the report. We had 5 locations that we looked at. So all that was played out. Then you get to see everything the state's up to, which I'm not going to reiterate. The FEMA grant for the generators that I applied for in December of 22.
Just what I was going to ask you. Where do we stand?
So, according to everything I've read and what they have told me, see, FEMA's broke, right? So they're not spending a lot of money, so they're holding back and spending their funds on current projects, current disasters that are occurring, and they're not putting any money that I'm aware of into hazard mitigation plans. In other words, plans to stop disasters. So our plan was the 4 generators that we're bringing in to keep our buildings running. It's on hold. It hasn't been canceled. It's definitely there. They've already looked at it. They've asked some questions. They're ready to pull the trigger on it. But we're on a holding pattern until FEMA opens up their funding. And that will, I don't know when that's going to occur. Looking at Congress, they were talking about getting some extra funding back into FEMA, but they had a hard enough time balancing the budget this month. So I don't know what their plan is by the end, was it mid-November when they do the final budget. So we're going to see if they put more money into FEMA.
It's 45 days.
45 days, yeah.
Yeah, 45 days. So we'll see, but I'm on a holding pattern. And if they tell us to go, it may not be a 3-year grant, it may be a 2-year grant, which is fine. We're going to do it in 2 years, as long as we can get the supply, those generators. So we're looking at that. Dustin and I are trying to play with that. For training and drills, we did an airport functional exercise. 12 agencies, 24 responders did a really good job at response and taking care of the issue of an airport disaster, and it was off airport property. And then we did, well, the hospital did a functional exercise with a medical surge to see how we could handle a major medical issue. And they did a really good job, and everybody was actually very enthused. They actually enjoyed the training, so it was good, and we learned a lot. So we got some gaps there we're going to work on for the hospital, so that was good. I'm just going to be swamped November, December, January, February. A lot of training going on, a lot of requests, so I'll be teaching some ICS classes for the county employees. In November, a 300 class in November, and then it just keeps going on from there. But we're getting our small training gaps picked up, so we're doing really well with that. I've actually got some other instructors in the state, so they're going to do it, and I just get to watch them, so it's really good. We're starting to move ahead with that. And then, where's Vicky? So,
Right behind you.
all right.
She's backing you up.
So, I must have sent out personally, including with Vicky and the other PIO with the city, we have been mass emailing you guys, everybody in the world, with the new emergency alert system. This isn't because of things that have happened here, but it is in prior things that have happened here. Using our old emergency alert system, it couldn't keep up with what we were trying to do with the public, helping them. We also found some gaps in it that it wouldn't allow me to circle certain areas when it wasn't an imminent threat. So we looked at this. I mean, we were looking at this during COVID, but we actually did a deep dive probably mid-2022. By December, we were able to locate this vendor. We looked at it. The 911 board approved it. And it was an extra $2,800, I think, a year. And this system is, I mean, it's awesome. It's very robust. It allows us to do what we need to do to warn the public. And it's based upon what's been going on in the world for the last 3 years, from COVID to earthquakes to floods. Anywhere from Greece to, you saw what happened in Hawaii. And that's a big deal, alert and warning. Get the public to understand this. So with that, we've been training and working on this since December, trying to make sure that we have backup, we have plenty of people that can operate the system. You have to get certifications in certain things you do. There's a lot of law that goes behind alerts and warning. So we're up and running. We sent out a message to the people who have signed up on the old Nixle system twice, telling them you don't get the service anymore. You have to sign up on this new system. So we had close, it's hard to calculate because they have a system where it says we have 5,700 people, plus or minus, signed up for text messaging, and then we have 2,700 people signed up for email. But some are doing both. So it's a mix. So I sent out one alert, and then we collected, now we're at 1,400 people have signed up. Good number, but everybody in our demographics, 18 years and older might have a cell phone. There's 19,000 people in our county that are older than 18. Figure maybe some don't want to sign up. Fine, I understand that. And what we're trying to explain to people, when we have that call line, some people have said, well, we don't want the government to know our stuff. Well, the government already knows all your stuff. We don't, but the government already's got most of your stuff. Secondly, anything that you put in this portal is only for my information. The vendor and I are not allowed to give that out to anybody, or we go to jail. So when you sign up at this portal, it's for you to get alerts for road closures, law enforcement incidents, gas leaks, maybe even an alert, a pre-alert for evacuation where it's not an imminent threat yet. It'll give you any information that the emergency management or dispatch or the sheriff's office needs to send out to notify the public, like 491 is closed for the 12th time in the winter. So it's good information. If they don't sign up, you won't get any of that information. You're going to have to get it off of Facebook or whatever. So that's why we're encouraging people to sign up for these alerts. And you can get it any way you want, email, call, text message, however. Or you don't have to sign up. There is a means for emergency, an imminent threat to life. I can send out what we need to for a certain area to evacuate for fire, but you may not get the pre-alert. So I'm encouraging people to sign up. My goal is 10,000 people. That's not bad, I think. We'll see.
Is Nixle going away?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to fade that out. Right now, both systems are pinging both right now, so
Right.
you may get a bunch. The tribe is also part of this deal because the board was paying for some of that as well. So we're trying to get them hooked up really quick as well. But the system is we've got a lot of backup, let's put it that way. If I'm not available and I'm working something heavy, the emergency manager from Dolores can send out a message for me. I could do the same for him like we did before, but it's much easier now. It's not a trying to work your way through the system. And last year on 491 closure, I was putting out alerts as well for Dolores County, and then it stopped. It wouldn't allow me. So now we have a system where I just tab it and I can send stuff out. So that with the dispatch supervisor, dispatch, and Vicky, and our other PIO, and Jim McLean's on it too. So we have backup. So this is an awesome system. Little different to sign up. So with that, Vicky is going to walk you through how to sign up while the public's watching here or at home. Pull your phones out. Here we go. You're on. You have to turn your mic on.
So we have several different ways that you can sign up.
Pull it closer, Vicki.
If you want, you have, the first option is you can download the Everbridge app. On the screen there, it shows a little blue check mark. That is the app that you're looking for. We've had a couple people tell us that when they tried to download this, the system attempted to make them pay for it. This is a free app. You do not have to pay for it. You can also scan the barcode on this flyer that will be hanging everywhere and has gone out over social media and is going to be everywhere that you could possibly look to find it. Or on our website, if you go to our county website, it comes up on the first page there. Under the Spotlight section, if you click on that, okay, I kind of messed up there. You'll have to give me a second. Hit the wrong button. Okay, if you click on this, it will take you to the information page. If you scroll through that information page, there's two links down here. One is the Montezuma County Alert System sign-in. That's where you go to sign up for your account. And then the instructions below are pretty much the same thing that's posted here, with detailed instructions on how to sign up from either your cell phone or your computer. The first set of instruction there is how to do it with your app. With the app, the one thing that you need to watch out for is you'll come up to a page that says Find an Organization, and you can search for Montezuma County. It will come up with either that black banner that says Montezuma County Emergency Alert System or the blue circle with an M in it. If it comes up and shows the Montezuma County Sheriff's logo, that is the old system, and you do not want to choose that one. From there, you just follow the instructions to get signed up. I'm going to walk through how to sign up on the computer, which these are the instructions for that.
We also have a number posted everywhere, 970-564-4998. And if you need help, if you can't get it signed up, if you have questions or concerns about the system, that's the number that we ask you to call. We'd prefer that you not call dispatch because they've got enough going on without having to answer these questions. So we will click on this sign in page and just kind of flip through it real quick so you know what you're looking for. It'll come up, that's our banner. That banner is all over everything. That will be the banner that we use for all of the alerts. When you scroll down here, it's going to say sign into your account. Well, obviously you don't have an account yet. So you need to go down below to where it says don't have an account, sign up. We're going to click on sign up. Then you're going to go through creating your account. We're going to do this kind of quick here. And our account is going to be test dummy, if I can spell. Username is whatever you want it to be. Password is whatever you want it to be. It's going to ask one security question. You can choose a different security question. Your location information, you have the option to sign up for several different locations. If you wanted to sign up for for alerts at your house, you might name that home. You might want to sign up for alerts where you work, you might name that work. So we're going to name this one home. We're going to put in an address. And then we'll verify, you have to verify the address. It will give you a ping, yeah, this is my location. Then on your contact information, you have to complete at least one. If you want to be contacted, if you want to receive your alerts by email, you put in an email address. If you want to receive those alerts by cell phone text, you can put in the cell text number. You also have the option to put in a cell call number, and if that is what you choose, you will get an actual phone call. I got one the other day. It said it was from Massachusetts, which I thought was a little weird, but it called and said, and it read the alert off to me. A lot of people are not choosing that option, and if you're one of those that don't answer a cell phone call unless you recognize the number, you're not going to recognize the number. You do have to accept the terms of use, and then you create your account. It doesn't like mine. So this username already exists. That's funny. Anyway, so we won't go on with that. But as you complete it, after you set your account, you have the option of choosing which weather alerts that you would like to receive. There's like 40 some odd options. We have already pre-selected some options. You will receive like severe thunderstorm warnings, heavy snow warnings, red flag warnings. You will receive all of those. You don't get to choose those. But you might also be interested in receiving alerts for a freeze warning. That's an option that you can choose. You can also choose to receive alerts for high wind. I think tornadoes are even in there. Once you complete those, you have the option to set quiet hours. With the current Nixle system, one of the biggest complaints I've heard is that the U.S. National Weather Service sends out their weather alerts between 3 and 4 in the morning. And people don't like that. With this system, you can set quiet hours. The default is 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., but you can change those. And you can set those quiet hours where you will not receive the weather alerts. Now, if we sent out an evacuation notice, that you would still receive during your quiet hours. Once you get all of those set, you click on finish and your account should be set up. Anybody have any questions about it? I have walked several people through when they call on that information number. I have the option to walk you through it, or I can help people fill out the questions.
So we're here to help if anybody needs it. We will be presenting at all 3 senior centers at their lunches next week, helping people to get signed up. We'll be doing a couple public events such as the Fly-In down in Cortez. We'll have a table set up where people can come and get signed up.
There's a tsunami check mark in there, and I figured if we get a tsunami warning, I'll let you know, because I think that could be a disaster, yeah. So we unclick tsunami and all those,
Tsunami here,
yeah.
it's pretty much a disaster.
Yeah.
I'm
We had to
going
go through and
We get that, I'll
unclick.
go at the lumber store.
Yeah, if that happens, high ground, yep. So anyway, it's a great system, it works really well. When we first got it going, we probably received 1 phone call to help somebody, and we ended up with 800 people signed up. This last time, we ended up with another 500 signed up. We got like 6 phone calls. And again, people are putting in some weird names. Just sign up. I don't care what you name yourself. I don't care, as long as you get the alert. We already, it's already in there. The whole world already knows who you are and where you live. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. So, but you don't have to put your real name in. You can put your name, well, I shouldn't say this. Put your own address in there. But yeah, so as long as you get pinged and you can figure out what's going on. And I've had issues where one neighbor received a pre-evacuation on a fire, and the whole subdivision wasn't signed up, and that person was packing up, and within 5 minutes, people were going, what are you doing? Well, you didn't get the alert. What alert? You got to sign up. I didn't know you had to sign up. So it is handy, so please sign up. Questions? That's it, gentlemen.
I have none.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you, Vicki. Okay. Miss Emily, come on down. Extension.
Well, I'm signed up on both my phones, so, and I've gotten the notifications. It was super easy to do, so, testimonial.
Very good.
And we also shared it out, as Jim was talking, that I was reminded, we sent that out to our 4-H'ers. So Tierney sent that out, and we've been sharing your stuff on Facebook just to try to encourage folks to sign up. So with the extension, we've been busy, just like everyone it seems. 4-H has their enrollment is going on right now. So enrollment opens as of October 1st. And I'll give you guys these little handouts that Tierney has just to explain 4-H and how kids can get involved, where the different clubs are. And so something she's trying out is this tour de 4-H. So she got the idea from Archuleta County, kindly shared this idea just to give people who are new to 4-H, sometimes it can be really hard to understand, like, how do I join a club? How many projects do I choose? And so this is a great opportunity just to meet with other people and get kind of a tour of what it means to be in 4-H and how to sign up. So that is on October 14th. So she's working with IFA on that. And here, I'll hand this to you guys, and you can see her cool handouts.
Thank you.
You guys can share. So she's just trying to get information out to people. She answers a lot of calls for people who are trying to, understand the best way to walk through that. And so hopefully through these kind of promotional materials, sending people to different websites will help with that process. Then Tierney's also visiting with our Greg Felsen, you may remember, familiar name. So he now is an accessible education specialist with CSU Extension, and so he's been working a lot with the Mount Ute tribe on educational access programming with his counterpart Arlene Colroy. And so they have been working a lot in the school down there. And so Tierney went with them for a day just to start building relationships and thinking about what Tierney's calling like taster workshops, so giving people a taste of like what is 4-H. So she did a quilting series, and thinking of, well, how could she work with those relationships and schools that Arlene and Greg have down in Toyac with the schools for hopefully getting a 4-H program going on down there. And so I think her last class of this first taster, leaning into some things that she likes and is good at, she had a quilting class. And so I think there's a picture of some happy kiddos holding up their quilting squares. And so she's partnering with a quilters guild, and it's complete chaos, but the kids are happy. So then she is also going to do a knitting 101, another little taster kind of class to build some skills, get kids interested in various types of programs. So 4-H, we have that livestock, that's really strong programming, but kids can get into canning and quilting and photography. So there's just a lot of different things that we're always looking for leaders who have skills in these areas too, who want to step up and lead a project. Then to celebrate all the great things that everyone's been doing this past year in 4-H, Achievement Night is on October 21st. So they'll be having a great celebration. There's some awards that are announced that night. There'll be cupcakes, the usual excitement. Then on to some programming, what I've been up to, and a little bit of what Todd has been up to. We hosted a pollinator class we have a CSU Extension entomologist, Mel Schreiner, she's a fabulous entomologist. I can text her insects, pictures, and she's extremely helpful. She's been working a lot on the corn, pest issues up in the Grand Junction areas, and so just a fabulous resource. So she's been super, super busy, but she came down and gave a presentation. We hosted it at the Research Center. We did some walking around. She just talked about different pollinator, beneficial insects, and then also maybe some not so beneficial, and ways to identify those. Talked about management practices to encourage pollinators as well. Then this is a little different, but something I'm always interested in: range management. So worked with a retired NRCS range specialist he's part of the Colorado Society for Range Management, and there's a youth committee, and he works a lot with FFA students. So those are those kids, this is at PCC. So we hosted a range judging class, and a lot of these kids had never paid attention to range management, which it can be a little different to look at your landscape, what grasses are there, but it's really important. As what is our county, like 75% public land? Like there's a lot of land, that forest or range lands, that even private land that are range lands that need to be managed. So we need the next generation of folks who are thinking about these things to help with our landscapes. So we collected, there were like 21 plants, which we were able to collect around PCC, and then talked about, plant identification, what different uses are of those plants, and gave them just an introduction to range management. So Allison Brown, the FFA instructor, and Dolores, she and I hosted the event. We had, I think it was like 32 students who came. Heather Hauk from PCC, hosted us there. They have really great meeting rooms there that are always great to collaborate with them. So that was fun, a little out of my comfort zone of teaching kiddos, but we managed okay. And the Conservation District provided lunch, so always great to work with them. Then this Saturday, we had our apple pick. So Jim, did you get some good apples?
I did.
Okay.
I got a bag full.
Okay, great.
And actually had an apple pie that afternoon.
Oh,
My
excellent.
daughter-in-law made an apple pie, yeah. It was
Well,
good.
my parents were visiting, so I made about 8 apple pies on Sunday. So I'm good on apple pies for the year. They're in my freezer now. But we have a ton of apples, so I was really glad to see all the folks out on Saturday picking apples and having fun. And then to follow up with that, Gus Westerman and Dolores County Inn, our dear Greg Filson, they're hosting and Todd is gonna help out this Thursday. They're picking apples to donate to local food banks. So in Dolores County, here in Cortez, in Toyac, and then over in Durango. So they have these big totes, and then we have volunteers coming out to help pick those apples. So they'll be donating those apples And then we have Esoterra and Fence Line. Then they come out and they pick their own apples into totes, but then they're charged for that. And that all funds the orchard program. And then Greg is also doing a cider pressing activity with some kiddos. So lots of apple focused stuff right now. But I'm sure if someone needs apples, they can always give our office a call and we can see what we can do there. And Todd has been working out there helping us to maintain that orchard. So Dolores County likes to always remind us of what needs there are. So we're doing our best to make everybody happy and keep that orchard going. Something else I've been up to, I think there's another, you'll see a theme, Travis, the rangeland pictures. So I had some graduate students who came down. I have a RestoreNet project, so it's a dryland restoration project, and we have sites out in Yellow Jacket at the Research Center, and then this is down with Mount Ute. And those different landscapes are very different, and so it can be, very tough to restore degraded landscapes, different soil types. But we had a great group of grad students, some PhD candidates, and a master's student who came down. So yeah, those are them. One of them is a phenomenal botanist, so it was really great to hang out with her and identify some plants. So really appreciate all the work that they do, bringing CSU, knowledge and putting their time into restoration efforts down here. So I'm working with Professor Carrie Havrilla, who then she funds these grad students to come down and working on that project. And I enjoy working with Carrie and our other range colleague, Retta Bruger, who maybe some of you have met. She's our CSU Extension Range Specialist on the Western Slope. And so we worked together with some other colleagues and applied for, it's $1 million NEFA grant, and so this goes through CSU. So some of it is for educational programming, like on campus, but then some of that is local dollars. So if we got that, 300,000 of that would go to Mount Ute for rangeland, like technicians and monitoring. And then also for programming related to drought planning and education. So we'll see what happens with that, but a great team to work with, and they really wrote the grant. So it's great to work with people who apply for big money to bring some funds down here. Then we hosted some canning classes. We had these canners in our office, and so I asked Wick, I was like, how can we get these to some people? And I don't think there was a picture of that. I think I meant to, and I don't know if it got there. So I asked Nicole Clark, who she's a family consumer science agent in La Plata County. And so she came over and taught 2 different workshops, a hot water bath canning and a pressure canning at the fairgrounds. And so we were able to give out about 12 hot water bath canners, and then we did a drawing for 2 pressure canners. And Nicole does a really great job and just talking about the process for how to safely can. So we can in the hot water bath canning. We were canning apple slices, but it's really like the process of, sanitization. How do you determine how long you need to do this? All of those sorts of things. So appreciate Nicole, and we try to work together because we don't have a family consumer science person, so I get those questions, and sometimes I can answer canning questions, and we have lots of fact sheets, obviously, through CSU Extension, but Nicole is a great one, because I had someone say, I have 20-year-old peaches that I canned myself in, my pantry. Are they still safe? Like, maybe you should throw those away. So, so I can give expert advice like that. Then, still working on, we have a drought advisor program through CSU, and yesterday was the last day we had a second round of applications for folks to apply to the drought advisor program. That comes with a $500 stipend for writing a drought plan, and then up to $1,000 for funding to help with implementing that drought plan. So that's a statewide program. We had about 4 people here in Montezuma County who I helped, work through writing a drought plan. And the feedback that I got was these are things that people they'd wanted to do, they've been putting off to write that plan. And then it was also like the connections that they made. So thinking through how to plan for the what ifs, just as any emergency might come up, but then making those connections of who are the people who can help them to actually administer that plan. Then I just had another meeting yesterday, still working on this Colorado Master Irrigator Program. I have a meeting later with Lore, looking for some funding from them. And so they have previously been interested in funding that. We offer stipends through that program. So if a producer wants to come and learn about, this is a more in-depth for larger producers. So it's up to a $2,000 stipend for completing that course. So looking for some outside funding for that, and working with the administrators of the Colorado Master Irrigator Program. It's like over the course of 3 years, it'd be like $260,000 that they have some grant funds, and then I can pull in some local funds to get that program off the ground. And apply for grants of all different sizes. I applied for a mini Western SARE grant. So this is an internal CSU grant. It's really easy to apply for. And so I got a little over $3,000 to do some livestock workshops, just like basic livestock care, what do you need in your emergency kit? Then thinking of like calving, lambing, how to think through what supplies do you need, when do you need to call in a vet, or how do you determine what's normal? So I just got notification of that yesterday. So I'll start planning that as well. Also meeting with the local conservation districts. So they have the Star Plus program, and then they're partnering with Extension for technical assistance, or really partnering with CSU for technical assistance. And then I get some funds through that assistance that then I can use for other things. But they have 23 new producers, and some of them are in La Plata County, and some of them are going to be in Dolores County. So getting Gus and Darren, our neighboring extension agents, involved in that, but continuing to help people with, meet soil health goals and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll be traveling to a few different things, but I'm on the advisory committee there's the, Food and Ag Business Development Centers, which is like this $30 million grant that CSU got. So I'm on that advisory board, and so they're paying for me to go to the Colorado Food Summit, which is in Denver in December. So that will be a good connector of some bigger, food systems, things that we can bring back here to Montezuma County. In our HORT programming, we're advertising for the Master Gardener class. They're doing it a little different this year. CSU has it all online. And so we have 4 people locally who are going to take that class. And then we're going to work with La Plata County to offer like in-person labs. So people like those community connections, working with each other. So we're doing that. Then on the highly pathogenic avian influenza, thought I'd give some good news. Got a notification recently that there haven't been any commercial cases since April 19th of this year, and no backyard cases since May 18th of this year. And so they just released the last quarantine facility that was in Broomfield. So it's still found in wild populations of birds, and they found it in like a black bear and a cougar. So it's still there, but hopefully not the cases that we've had in the past. So hopefully some good news on that. Then recently, Tierney, Todd, and I, we all went to the CSU Extension Forum in Fort Collins. So I call it our annual trip to the mothership. We get together with colleagues on planning, get updates from CSU on different programming, professional development. So I am a co-lead of our livestock and range professional reporting unit. And so we had an update from Eric Odell with CPW on wolf reintroduction. So that was really informative. And then Extension is like, okay, so this is what we're hearing from CPW. What can we do to support producers? So it was a good time for all of us to be together, get those updates, and create some planning around that. Then just have some office stuff that don't know if now's the time to talk about some stuff, but we're having some issues with our vehicle. And I just talked to Shane, and he was talking about the rims are pitted, and so we keep losing tire pressure. And I was like, what is going on? And so it's a problem with the wheels. And so he said he could try to find some different ones to replace it with, which we keep checking out the pool vehicles when we go on longer trips, because my staff just doesn't really feel safe driving that long distances. So we also try to put a pump, you know, like a little cigarette lighter pump in the car, just to keep those tires up. But I know at one point we were talking about all the different options of, like, could we take the Suburban or something like that. So I don't know if we should just continue that conversation, or.
I think the Suburban is still a pool vehicle, and if you need it, I think it was always available to you all.
Okay.
I think that's why we left as a pool vehicle. As far as if it's just rims
Yeah, if it's just
that are
rims.
pitted, that's a pretty
Just-
simple.
Yeah,
Okay, I asked him, I was
Simple
like, can we just
solution,
replace
I
it?
mean,
yeah.
Mhm.
No
for the
spinners.
rims. It's a pretty
Yeah.
simple deal.
We've been dealing with this for like a year, and I was just informed that was what was going on. So maybe we can address that issue.
So is it actually low pressure, or is it just a tire pressure monitoring system that's going off? Or is
No, it's low pressure. Like, so last week I was driving it, and then it was the front passenger was low. And then Todd came out, and then the driver rear was low. So it's just like, we're trying to, because as you're thinking, is there a nail in one of our tires? But then it just moves around, you know, which tire it is. So I think now, if Shane is confident what the issue is, then we can just go ahead and address it. But you know, if continuing to talk about other options as that vehicle ages. But we can address this one and move forward.
And the Suburban is always there, or I shouldn't say always there.
Yeah.
It is a pool vehicle.
Well, we check out the Equinox and the Suburban a lot. So we definitely do check those out.
That is what it is there for.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll keep doing that, and I'll work with Shane to get that fixed. Then I guess on our proposed budget, so we have, or the, you know, cuts that we've been proposed to us, or proposed, or they are, is a 29-hour admin and then a 20-hour program assistant. And so just talking through, I know we've talked about this before, of what does that mean for our office if we only have a 29-hour admin assistant, which that potentially means that then we would go to only being open 4 days a week. And being closed on Friday. So that doesn't, and we could be like open by appointment only, and Tierney and I would work, obviously, or at least 40 hours a week, but guaranteeing that the office is open with all of our night meetings and weekend work. It's really difficult to burn it at both ends. You know, we're just gonna burn out if we're expected to be there ourselves 5 days a week. So I just wanted to talk about that, like, we can work through this. I'm looking for other funding to help us, you know, continue with programming, but we're proposing to then close our office on Fridays in the new year. And I don't know if this is the place to talk about that, or if you want to talk about that more at a different time, but.
I mean, that's something we can discuss later on and figure out a plan of action, a strategy, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. We're trying to work it out. We want to make sure we, you know, communicate to our clientele what's going on, but we also, you know, we have all those night and weekend meetings, so trying to balance, you know, Tierney and my time with, you know, having that admin there for answering those walk-in, you know, or answering 4-H questions is really what that is, like, a lot of, but having the office open at expected times and clearly communicating that. So. Okay,
I have a question.
Yeah,
Because you gave us a lot of information,
okay,
about 30 minutes worth.
okay.
So the only thing that I mean, the training that you're going to go to in December, the big food systems training, what big foods, what does that do? How does that affect us in Montezuma County? Is that I mean, do we have anything that would,
Well, so I guess
know?
when I talk about, say, food systems work, so that would be, you know, how do we connect, like, our local farmers and ranchers to markets, or to connect them to processing, and like with the farm, what is it, Colorado Farm Fresh, who, you know, went out of business, so we don't have a local distributor for smaller producers like vegetables.
I guess that was my issue, is it says big food systems, are we big enough to apply for these? I mean, because it seems like we get left out with that term big.
And
we don't qualify for the big.
Well, and I don't know where I said big, maybe that was maybe I misspoke, but I think we do get left out, and that's the problem. We don't have enough volume to be profitable. So it's like, how do we connect with other food hubs that then we can make it profitable enough? And then, so where are we distributing? Are we trying to take it to Denver, where then we're competing with everyone around Denver? Can we, there's some pretty, well-functioning food hubs in the San Luis Valley. Can we connect with them in some way? Or, are we looking at like distributing food in like Albuquerque? And then, so how do we, market and promote ourselves as being unique and having a product that people really want? I'd say like Anasazi beans, that's something that people really know about. So then how do we market that? Beans are having a moment. So how do we bring our Montezuma County beans into that and get a premium price for it?
Okay. I was just,
Yeah.
the term big systems just concerned me. So we'll
Well-
wait to see what your training brings back to us and see what it'll do to enhance us.
Yeah, and with that, the Food Business Development Center funding, so it's then bringing people who are like ag business, entrepreneur type folks who can then help work with producers on an individual basis if they want to develop, a local, whatever, processing of, Jess and I have talked about this, like what is that processing that they need locally to then add value to their raw product? Or do they not want to be, adding value locally? Do they want to just sell it someplace else, where they could get a better premium? And then how do they work together to do that? So is that forming like some sort of a grower co-op, like growers in Mancos have done with, garlic to some success of like, what are those things? And then how do we connect producers with those resources to get, to what goals they have? Yeah,
Okay.
trying.
We'll wait.
Okay.
Wait to see what December brings.
Okay. Any other questions?
That was all that I had.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys. And I guess
we will wait for our apple pie, since they're in the freezer being.
Okay. Well, I have their little bunt pan apple pie, so they're like little, single serving-ish kind of thing. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. It was a great event. It looked like a lot of people were there.
Yeah, there were a lot of people. So thanks for coming.
It's always a good event.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. I guess I'll see you tonight, Travis, right? Okay. Look forward to it. We have an advisory committee meeting. So. Okay. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Emily. All right. Under unfinished business, Jennifer, you can come on down if you want to. Yesterday, we had a presentation in our workshop. We had 3 proposals that were presented yesterday, and the recommendation from our transportation director is to use the Compass proposal, correct?
Yes.
And this is to basically establish the feasibility for the fixed route within the county. And with that, I'll let you go ahead and give us more of an overview.
Yeah, we're just trying to, well, right now it's for the feasibility studies, like you said. So hopefully the feasibility studies will be done in about 3 months or so. And then hopefully next summer, we can start this. So that would be nice, because it's been a long time coming. But, so that's what we put it out for bid, or for proposals, and we got 3 proposals back. And I think the one that, was the lower bid is probably the one that's, and it's fine, it's got everything in it that we need, so.
Okay. Question?
No,
Question? Okay. What's your pleasure?
I move we accept the bid submitted from Compass Transit Consulting to do the feasibility study for BOCC fixed route system.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the proposal from Compass for the fixed route feasibility study from MOCO in the amount of $39,923. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
All right, thank
There you go, ma'am. We also had a presentation for a letter of support for the Mancos Conservation District. Ms. Rank and Ms. Harris were in yesterday. And this is basically for wildfire, working with private property owner, so on and so forth, as far as education and the risk and reduction within our county. Any questions?
No.
I do not have that one for you guys to sign. That was not included in the packet. So if we could print it.
Actually, I think we have one.
This is it, isn't it? No,
No.
it's a ER land building.
Also, we can move forward with it. Once we get it, we can get it signed.
I would so move we sign the letter of support for the forest restoration and wildfire risk management. That goes to, who are we supporting?
Mancos Conservation District.
Mancos Conservation District.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to sign the letter of support for forest restoration and wildfire risk mitigation to the Mancos Conservation District. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and that pretty much takes care of everything that we discussed in our workshop yesterday. So, we'll move on to new business. I do not see Doug in here, but Jessica, I guess you're part of this too. Do you want to come on down?
Where Nolan and Doug are at, they're definitely a crucial part. You don't have anything up?
No, they usually connect.
We can wait a minute. We can go on to Ian's.
Do that resolution.
Go ahead. Go ahead and go on and see if you can capture them, and we'll go on to Ian's resolution. All right, we'll jump across that for a minute. We'll go to Sky Mesa LID, Mr. McLaren.
Yeah, and so this is a resolution just completing the Sky Mesa Improvement District. All of this was done quite some time ago. The improvements have been made prior to when I got here. And apparently this resolution was never done and finalized. And so this is a resolution just finalizing that so those tax assessments can be made as contemplated in the public hearing. The public hearing was held, everything was approved, and so this is just the resolution to finish that process and allow the assessor to move forward with the assessments.
So basically, we're cleaning up, just taking care of business.
That's right.
So, okay. Do we have a number, Kim, by chance?
22.
Okay, got it.
I move to approve resolution number 22, 2023. A resolution forming, creating, and establishing a local improvement district for the chip sealing of County Road 26.1 loop serving the Mesa Sky Estates subdivision.
Okay. Down in the resolution, I just looked at this, it says 26.1, down here it says 36.1.
Oh, yeah.
That's a misprint.
Okay.
I can clean that up. If you guys just want to move forward, I'll correct that typo.
Okay.
Second the motion.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept resolution number 22, 2023, a resolution forming, creating, and establishing a local improvement district for the chip sealing County Road 26.1 loop serving the Mesa Sky Estates subdivision, providing for payment of the costs for said improvement by assessment of property. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How about them to sign the new one?
Yep.
Okay. We'll get it fixed up and sign it later this afternoon. Okay. All right. Now we'll come back up to Nolan and Jessica, and it's as it is an update on the web page.
So, I believe Nolan presented this to you guys as preliminary, I can't talk already. He presented this to you guys in February, a story map and GIS software to show where recreational opportunities are in Montezuma County. He and Doug approached me to maybe help with the marketing or kind of just dispersing the information about it out to the community. And so we came up with just some drafts of a flyer and a sticker that we would like to maybe possibly distribute for promotion of the story map, recreational map. Is that working?
Yeah, I'm trying to display it. Yeah, earlier I was presented this to you, to everybody. Just a quick summary of the Montezuma trails and how, I put together a story map, showcase different trail systems off the highway, which is easy accessible for anybody that recreates. And I was talking to Jessica, and we some of the inputs that we got from her meetings, her economic planning meetings, and some of the inputs from the public saying like, yeah, we could possibly use different information besides trail maps. So I created and expanded on this. So I created sort of like a map of different systems of recreation opportunities throughout Montezuma County. So I created a website, which we can put on the our ArcGIS addressing map website. And here it's basically, it shows like different opportunities of recreation areas. It's still working, but it's pretty much how it, just a website which shows different locations of popularly fishing areas in Montezuma County. You scroll to that. It shows different reservoirs, different fishing areas that people might, traveling through and say, hey, where's a good site to go check out, or, like a good place to go, catch the breeze. And most of it is pretty much interactive. Like, you can just go to McPhee, bookmark. And some of it has websites you can view. You can go to it. It shows like different, information about that specific reservoir or lake. It shows, it connects to the jurisdiction of different areas. Go back. So yeah, it's just like a broad view. People can explore different reservoirs, different areas. So this is the fishing.
So we think that this will be really useful too, as we progress through our OREC grant that we have that'll identify our cultural and heritage assets as well as recreational opportunities. Nolan will be able to go through and add what other options that we have come through that process into this website too. So today we just wanted to show you, do you have a copy of the flyer and the sticker?
Yeah.
Andy? So we wanted to show you guys, so we have a copy of this is just a draft drawing of a sticker that we can put out for fairly affordable pricing to the community, so they will be able to access that website. And then we also have just a flyer that we can put out at different locations too. So we just wanted to show you guys, let you all know that this is something that we're working on to just bolster one of our economic drivers of of outdoor recreation for the community.
So does that go on our website, or is it gonna be its independent website?
So that'll go on our website, and then as we continue to build out the Make It Montezuma Community Prospectus and Economic Development website, we'll be able to link to that too. So we'll be able to utilize that for a couple different locations and features.
Yeah, so most of this is still adding stuff to it. I'm still working on it, but this is probably not until coming up to next year. The off-road recreation just shows like a basic trail system of where people can take their ATVs and OHVs within the designated areas of the Forest Service and around the area. And you have your quick links for different other resources like weather stuff that you can navigate to it real quick. And most of it is navigable. You can use your phone to scan the QR code, and it should work with your phone. And also, it has a current location of where you're currently locating, if you're using your phone, so that way you can navigate to specific areas based on your current location, according to your phone and according to the web map. But yeah, that's pretty much that's about it for this.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the idea is, we have a lot of resources on our website. It's a matter of people finding that. So that's the idea behind, I think we're going to spend maybe $150 on either some stickers and or postcards, posters, so that it can be put at the visitor center and they can reference that. Hey, if you want more resources, scan this, go to the link to this web map or a hotel. And that way people who are in visiting can find these additional resources that Nolan's put together. So that's the idea of making it accessible through that outreach.
Yeah.
And you can make more tiles, expand it to more like cultural heritage sites. You can showcase Hovenweep, all these other different archaeological sites that nobody hasn't really explored to, and they can have a location map of that area to for tourism and for people of interest.
Okay. Questions, comments?
No, looks good.
No, that's good.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. All right.
Good job,
All right.
Nolan. Thank you.
Thank you, Nolan. Doug, Jessica? All right, since you're right there.
I know. Let me grab my notes. All right. So, lots of focus on business development this past month. Exciting news. We talked to 3 new businesses in this past couple weeks, which is pretty cool. I'm also working with the Historic Preservation Society to possibly work on becoming a certified local government. This was something that was started in the early 2000s. Commissioner Lindsay, I think you were on the board at that time when they tried to pass that resolution. And that is just going to make us have the ability to provide historic preservation tax credits, and so just help incentivize some development. So working on that, I've been working with some folks at the city as well as with that organization to try and figure out how we can best do that and bring back that project that was started so long ago. Also talking with Manufacturers Edge. They're an organization that supports the 28 manufacturers that we have here in Montezuma County to better streamline their production as well as provide just some technical assistance. So we're going to be looking at doing some workshops and some more outreach with them in the next couple months. The poster that Travis just posted, we hosted that last night, the Make It Montezuma Business Blitz. That's a workshop series that's going to occur the first Monday of every Monday throughout the month of October. I am scrambled today, guys, sorry. Every Monday throughout the month of October. And I'm doing this with Korea as well as the Zoo Gallery. They've donated their space, and this is just to help build up support for startup businesses, so it's going to provide technical assistance for them. This first one we had Joe Keck speak about just the basics of starting a business. The second one, we're going to have Region 9 come in and do some market analysis and speak to the data, as well as a realtor speak to some of the commercial real estate that's located and available within Montezuma County for people to start their businesses. And then we will have Region 9 come back again for the 16th, as well as some banks provide just some information on funding and resources available. And then on the 23rd and 30th, we have the Southern Colorado Accelerator Program out of Durango, as well as Startup Colorado going to be coming and helping to present for those 2 days too. So it was pretty awesome last night. We had a pretty great turnout. We had almost 25 people there.
So what was our biggest fear?
The biggest fear is just finding the funding to start businesses and to get on board with where to even to start and where to reach out to. So I think this will be a really helpful workshop series for a lot of businesses in the community.
Was Region 9 there?
Region 9 was not there for this first one, but they will be for the next two events. And then speaking of Region 9, we'll be hosting an enterprise tax credit webinar on November 2nd, and that'll be for any of the existing businesses that are within Montezuma County that are interested in obtaining that enterprise tax zone credit. And then I also will be doing a quality jobs webinar hosted with the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment, as well as the Workforce Center, and that will be just a whole series, not a whole series, but a whole webinar on just how people can better recruit for jobs, help with job retention. We've had a lot of information received from local businesses that they're having a hard time keeping folks in their positions and staffing. And so Ms. Erin Young will be the one who will be presenting that, and she'll be going over tips and tricks that employers can have to keep their employees there. As far as MCC goes, Housing and Transportation, that group, we're still working on locating some veterans housing, working on veterans housing for them. We're talking with Housing Solutions and seeing if they actually have a lot here in Cortez, and so seeing if maybe that might be a location that we can utilize for that housing development. And that's all community-led and community-driven. And then for the transportation piece, we've been working to bolster that, the work that Jennifer is doing with MoCo, trying to get the word out, looking for maybe some ways that we can better help with marketing and such. Drought and agriculture, we have been told that we will be receiving $41,000 for drought and ag work that we can look at, like Emily said, the value-added agriculture businesses that we can hopefully try and develop something more there, as well as maybe something with our noxious weed department too. So we're just got to finish the application process for that and identify where we want to allocate those funds to. Workforce and business, as I mentioned, we've got this workshop series going, and we'll continue to bolster those opportunities. The Community Health Action Team, they're doing some different things to help those professionals within those industries, such as teachers, counselors, nonprofits, anybody that provides resources, providing some networking opportunities, as well as some just exchange of information for the providers in those areas. So yeah, a couple little things here and there. Last week I got to attend PCC. They signed an MOU with the Habitat for Humanity to provide, to have the folks in the Building Trades program help with the development of some housing through the Habitat for Humanity. So that public-private partnership is pretty cool to see happen.
Do they still have a building trades program?
Mm-hmm. They do. Yep, and they'll be helping to build that next house for Habitat. So that was a pretty cool connection to see happen and see something great come from it. So, yep. Kudos to them. Anything else? Questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. All right, Ian. Jump right down to you.
Yeah, so as I reported last week, there are a couple filings that are going to be due this week in the Ironwood case. One is a motion to reconsider the judge's order on dismissing Wade Bentley as a defendant from the case. Spent quite a bit of time visiting with counsel for CDPHE about that motion, and we discussed that, and we are going to go ahead and move forward. We feel like that's a good motion for a variety of reasons, and so that'll be filed tomorrow. Then on Friday, we have the response to the motion to dismiss the injunction that's due. CDPHE has provided some assistance with that, and so we've been working on that, and we'll have that filed by the end of this week. So both of those motions are in the works and have taken a lot of work, but I think we're in a good spot in that case, and hopefully we can continue to move forward. Ironwood continues to pay the fines of $7,500 a week for every week that material remains on the ground out at the site, and so we'll continue with that fining schedule for another, I believe, 6 weeks, and then it goes up to the $25,000 a week. So, other than that, I don't have a lot to report. Child protection continues to be busy, and one thing that I've seen over the course of the time that I've been in the office, and now in supervising some of the child protection matters, we're really lucky in this community to have some great providers. The N.M.P.M project just does a wonderful job for a lot of the families involved in the child protection system. It's an asset in the community that probably a lot of communities our size really don't have, and so. I see it day in and day out with the good work that N.M.P.M project does. We've also got great work being done by the Nest, by the Recovery Center. Access has providers. We're lucky in a community our size to have the number of providers that we do, and certainly, there's always a need or a want for more providers. But when you look around at communities that are similarly sized to ours, the number of services that we can offer to families in the child protection system is really good. And so I think it's just important to recognize that. I think, day to day, sometimes we hear, well, hey, the services aren't available in Montezuma County, but they really are. There's a lot of organizations that are doing really good work, and so I think it's just important for everybody to recognize those providers and give kudos, because it's not an easy job. And day in and day out, they continue to do good work. That's all I have to report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Travis, Mr. Anderson.
So it was a really busy week, lots of meetings, lots of follow-up. One thing I was able to do was meet with the courts. Really enjoyed the conversation over there. Topic was trying to reduce utilities and janitorial, and we're going to continue working through that process. And Dolores contract, I think we're getting close. I think we've worked on it since February. So I think we're really close in getting that finalized. We'll be meeting with the sheriff and Joe Thine, the CEO of the hospital, regarding the concern the sheriff brought up about the detox issue. Easements, I'll let the commissioners address this, but we had a CCI meeting Friday regarding Proposition HH. I'll let you gentlemen delve into that aspect when you give your presentation. So that's pretty much it, just really busy week.
Okay, very good. All right. To my right, Commissioner Lindsay.
Yes, as Travis mentioned, we did have a Proposition HH meeting. Jim and I and Travis met in here and sat and watched presentation from CCI on the proponents and the people that were pretty much against HH, and I tend to side with them. I'll let Jim go into that further, but I did attend a city council meeting, not in person. I Zoomed in, and I knew it was going to be a long evening. I think Susan was there, and I sat at home in my recliner and watched that meeting that was 3 hours long or longer, and quite a contentious bunch in there that had, and the city ruled against them. But also, I did zoom into a Region 9 meeting that lasted pretty much all of a morning, and I have a little bit of concerns about the default levels that are coming into Region 9. And, but I think they'll handle it. They've got good reserves. And also, next Saturday, there's a fly-in at Cortez Municipal Airport. A lot of aircraft coming in and a lot of organizations. Pretty neat to go see and watch. And last but not least, congratulations to Micah Radowski, 3-time winner of the Colorado PGA Golf Championship. Now he's qualified again to go play in the seniors. And I'm looking forward to watching Mancos and listening to Mancos Dove Creek play. I know Ian's probably going, so.
All right, very good, thank you. Commissioner Kupnever.
Last week, I actually missed the Mancos meeting, had some other issues that came up. Thursday, I had a workshop on our audit for Southwest Water Conservation District in the morning, and then that afternoon we had another Colorado River Task Force meeting all afternoon. That went fairly well. I just attended it virtually because it was in Granby. The next one's going to be in Ignacio next week. If you get a chance to listen into one of those, it's pretty interesting to all the different things they're trying to bring forward as far as water banking, water sharing, different programs. Basically, we're trying to keep them from doing no harm. Hopefully, we can continue that, not let it get out of hand. But we'll have this next one will be interesting because it's going to move some stuff forward. So, and that's about all I have to report.
Okay. Pretty much everything has been mentioned that I attended last week. Also, I'll go a little bit more into Proposition HH. I will be en route to CCI this week, Friday. That's where we will take all of our votes for all 64 counties of how we are going to, it sounds like, support or fight this proposition. I mean, you should all have your blue books by now. Read those. There's a lot of information in there, but in reality, this gives more money to the state. You know, one of the questions that we asked, which, or I asked, because the school districts are left out of this. Well, the state right now is supposed to fund the school districts 100%, basically.
Yeah, by statute.
And they don't, and they chose not to do it again this year. So they're leaving them out of this so that they hope that they can get the school districts fully funded. But we've heard that before, which is a concern of mine. You know, we heard that through the marijuana tax, and that was supposed to fully fund them, and it still hasn't fully funded them, and they continue to be on some agenda. I'm not really sure what it is, but look into it. We will have our votes this Friday in Denver on this amongst I think it was 8 other items that we'll bring forward to our legislative session starting in January. So I'll have more to follow with that next week after I attend those meetings in Denver, and I'll also be attending STAC, State Transportation Advisory Committee, on Thursday. So our workshop yesterday, we addressed everything on there. Today, but I wanna put this out a little bit more on the Spruce Creek Bridge repairs. This is a, this is a, not necessarily a culvert, but a box culvert that we've kind of had, and we've actually found a good place to put it and utilize it. It should work out real well, and hopefully we don't have any kind of flooding issues and losing those roads like we did last year. So I think it was a good find by our Road and Bridge Department, and get that thing in this year before we have any issues in the springtime. And with that, that will be the end of my report. So gentlemen, we have come to the end of our meeting.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to adjourn the Board of County Commissioners October 3rd meeting. And just want to make you also aware that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I think cancer touches all of us at some point in time in our lives. So just to make that awareness out there. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.